Welcome to This Week from Blue Mountain Broadcasting. I'm Lynelle Ellis, your host, and so glad that you've tuned in for the program. I'm going to be interviewing James and Julie Pellow today, and they're going to be talking about their experience when they went with their whole family to the ASI convention in Orlando, Florida recently. So stay tuned for that. And then also some important station news at the end of the program. Right now, let's begin with our devotional thought. You know, those of you who watch this show regularly know that our family is slowly making our way through the entire Bible, reading every chapter as we go along, and we're reading a short portion aloud at breakfast every morning. During the summer, that hasn't been quite as consistent because we've had people having breakfast at all different times, but school just started again, and so it's getting to be a very regular thing now. And we are in the book of Isaiah. And it's really a beautifully written book. It's so poetic. Really enjoying reading through Isaiah. And there are lots of pronouncements in this book against various groups of people, at least the section we're in right now, which is in the 20s chapters. And included in these passages, though, that are pronouncements against various groups, there are some really beautiful passages, memorable passages, verses that we all know and that many of us have memorized. So it's fun to crumb across these as we're reading along. And we did come across one of those sort of famous passages this week, and it's a beautiful promise. Do you know this one? From Isaiah 26, chapter 26, verse 3. You will keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on you, because he trusts in you. Now that's a promise that I've often claimed, and one we all need fairly regularly, isn't it? Here's what I didn't realize about this promise until we were reading chapter 26 this past week. There are a couple of more verses in that same chapter that expand on the idea that God is keeping us in perfect peace. These verses help explain how it works. How does God do that? How does it happen? Verse 9 provides an important clue about how we can receive the perfect peace that God wants to give us. This is Isaiah 26, verse 9. With my soul I have desired you in the night. Yes, by my spirit within me, I will seek you early. You know, many of us have experienced this for ourselves. When we seek God the very first thing in the morning and ask for Him to direct our lives for the day, we're much more likely to have peace throughout the day, even when challenging situations arrive, and they almost always do. The peace comes when our mind is centered on God and His plans. It comes when we're trusting Him for everything. Starting the day off by connecting with Him and asking for His peace is the most basic step we can take toward experiencing God's peace in our lives. And we're reminded of that right there in verse 9. With my soul I have desired you in the night. Yes, by my spirit within me, I will seek you early. Verse 12 holds another important clue for obtaining God's peace in our hearts. Here's Isaiah 26:12. Lord, you will establish peace for us, for you have also done all our works in us. That's it. Peace isn't something that we conjure up ourselves. We cannot make ourselves feel peaceful. The Lord is the one who establishes peace for us. He's the one who does the work in us. It's all Him. As we talked about last week on the show, every good and perfect gift is from above. And He is the one who began the good work in us, and He will be the one to complete it. Trusting in God means turning our lives over to Him. Completely turning them over and letting Him do all the work in us, including giving us His peace. So I encourage you to read Isaiah chapter 26 for yourself today. You'll probably find even more gems in that chapter that will help you draw closer to Jesus and will help you open your heart to God and the peace He wants to give you. Stay tuned. I'll be right back. Welcome back. Joining me now are James and Julie Pellow, and it's so good to have the two of you here with us.
It's good to be with you, Lynelle.
Thank you. You own your own business, and that kind of relates to what I'm asking you about today. You've recently attended the ASI convention. So what is that, and where and when did that happen?
Yeah, so the ASI convention is the Adventist Laymen's Services and Industries convention, and I don't think that name really adequately expresses what the convention it really is.
That's true.
But we went down there initially and primarily, I guess, as part of our business. We wanted to have a booth. We've got a product that we've been working on for the last several years, and we wanted to kind of showcase that and try and understand where the Lord was leading us to be able to use that product within a ministry kind of context.
And this year the convention was in Orlando, Florida, from August 3rd until August 6th.
Yes, and in Orlando. And actually, the reason why I know you were there is because I was there too.
We saw you there, yes. It was great to see.
I was there on behalf of Blue Mountain Television. We did not have a booth, but we were there, you know, doing a lot of networking and interacting with people like yourselves who have various products that might be important for ministries. And I know you didn't come primarily to, you know, I didn't even invite you, and you didn't come to the interview to plug your product, but you have to tell us just really quickly what it is so that people aren't going, well, what is their business? What is it?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the product is Swivel, and you can find it at www.swivel.is, as in is. And it's basically, if you think about Zoom as being a single conversation kind of an experience, we've all found Zoom very useful over the last couple of years.
Yes.
And really what the innovation that we bring to the table is a multi-conversational, more room-like experience for online gatherings. So if you want a more social experience, www.swivel.is, and it's really multi-conversational. You can just drag yourself around, very, very familiar kind of interface, but much more social and a lot of fun.
Yeah, I looked at it and it looked like it would actually be great for class discussions and stuff like that.
That's perfect.
So,
yep.
Yeah,
it's great
really
for those kind
cool.
of things. Yeah.
So we talked about how ASI stands for Adventist Laymen Services and Industries, but as you said, it doesn't explain much to us still. So who are these people who gather and why?
Yeah, well, you know, I think a lot of it started as a way for business owners and people to find ways to share Christ in the marketplace. I mean, that slogan has been used a lot in the context of ASI. And I think in a lot of ways that is a very strong component of ASI. I think that's why a lot of the business people get together in the first place, is to share what they're doing and to learn from each other and to kind of get energy from other business owners on how do we do that. But there's so much more. Do you want to talk about that?
Well, you definitely experience the energy when you're there. I mean, when you walk into a room with all these other ministries that are there, you just feel the community. You experience the energy from everybody. And this was the first year that I've been able to attend. And so for me, it was really overwhelming, honestly, because there's so much to take in. But just being there and being a part of this Adventist movement of ministries that is furthering the work of Christ and His soon coming is really incredible. And I just really encourage, if you've never been before, it's an experience unlike any.
Well, you know, and what I would add to that is there, you know, even if you're an individual that's just seeking to deepen your walk with Christ, there are meetings, there are breakout sessions, there's a morning prayer time with Jim Castor that was beautiful.
Children's programming that's incredible.
So it really fits a much broader than just the ministry's kind of a context. It really is a very personal thing as well in your walk with Christ.
I'm glad that you pointed that out, because I was just going to ask you, well, what if you don't own your own business?
Right.
You do, you know, so that, or what if you're not working for a ministry? Because you see there are a lot of nonprofit ministries, a lot of business owners, a lot of professionals, doctors, dentists, and that sort of thing, who also own their own business in a sense, right?
Right.
You see a lot of those people there, But there is so much more, and you don't have to own a business to go to ASI.
Well, and in fact, we business owners kind of miss out a little bit, and I felt a little jealous of those that were able to go around to the booths and really take in all of the opportunities and the things you could learn.
You were at your booth a lot, weren't you?
I was at my booth, unfortunately, a lot, and there are just so many booths there. There's mission opportunities. If you're looking for a way to serve, there's somebody there that has an opportunity for you there.
Absolutely.
And you can get excited about it, and that is really neat.
Lots of different ways, and isn't it, one of the things I found interesting was that there are so many different diversity and variety in organizations and businesses that are doing something for God's kingdom in all of these different ways. Everything from health things to education to meeting people's physical needs. So really quite fascinating. So why did you decide to go this year? Probably partly for your product, but
the timing was right for the product, absolutely. But in a lot of ways, we felt like it was time for us to kind of get involved with a more community for our children. And, in a lot of ways, we've wanted to meet other like-minded Christians that have children, our children's age, and really get them more involved with other children. And ASI is a fantastic place to do that.
Yeah, we were definitely talking about this prior to going to ASI. We're like, we want to provide our kids with opportunities to experience the energy that the adults experience so that they can be on fire, which totally was the theme of the kids' program this year.
Oh man, I remember on the last day, we had all of the kids on the platform. It was a huge number. They had them stacked from the tallest ones in the back down to the little kids in the front.
That were doing the motions.
And it's a big stage.
It was a big stage, absolutely filled it, and they were singing so enthusiastically.
Yes.
It was awesome.
That was a beautiful song. Yes.
So what did your kids think of the programs?
Oh, you know what? It's really interesting because we went there to be a part of ASI, and we had actually planned to stay a few days after to do some extra things with the family, to have some fun. But the kids were like, this was the best part of the whole thing. And so,
and they're competing with some pretty big
stuff in Orlando.
There,
Yeah, exactly. But I would say overall that they loved the programming for the kids. It's very well done. When you bring your kids there, they keep track of them extremely well. They have their each divisions that they're a part of, and they're actually going on while the adults are having their program, which gives the adults the opportunity to really experience.
You can really listen.
Yes, and so I never ever felt uncomfortable just leaving my kids in the children's division. It was very well run and excellent. So yes, my kids definitely want to do it again.
They went out and did outreach, and they went and visited an orange grove, and they did a lot of really neat things there.
Cool.
So it was neat.
Yeah.
Well, I will say, I guess when you get a bunch of professionals together who are used to running their own business, they can run a pretty good convention too. I also sense that everything is so organized.
It was very well
you're
done.
never wondering, is this going to
Yes,
come
very
together?
organized.
No.
Right.
All really good. So, what's the biggest benefit from being there?
Well, I think just the energy. I think that really is a big part of it. I mean, there's obviously, the spiritual growth that we experienced. I think we both walked away just feeling like we'd taken on a deeper step in our own personal walk. And I think, there's a lot of networking and just fantastic things there. But I really did feel like we walked away with a deeper walk with Jesus. And I think that's what should be a part of anything that we do together as a body of believers. We should walk away from those experiences with a deeper walk, and that definitely happened there at ASI.
Yeah, that's like the big takeaway, isn't it? I mean, and of course everybody always talks about the networking, and our viewers have already heard me saying, wow, the networking was amazing, while I was there.
And
it was. I was able to just connect with so many people, and unlike you guys stuck at the booth a little bit, especially you, James, but because Blue Mountain Television didn't have a booth, I've actually been to ASIs before where we did have a booth, and that was good too. But this was really, really a great opportunity for me to be able to just, roam around and talk with people and spend time at their booth and learn about them. In fact, I'm going to be interviewing a couple of people on this show coming up in the next 2 months that I met at ASI, who have ministries here in Washington State and who are going to come and share about their ministry.
That's wonderful.
So it's great to be able to make those connections.
Yes.
So I guess we've talked about the biggest one. I wanted to talk a little bit about maybe the impact on Sabbath there. Always the programs on Sabbath are very, very special and important. I know there was a beautiful Sabbath school.
Yes.
Maybe just a word about that, Julie.
Well, TJ and Marianne Knutson shared, and the title was Coming Forth as Gold, and they shared their story about the tragedy that they went through with Marianne becoming a quadriplegic, and how the Lord has...
And losing their daughter.
Yes.
All in an auto accident.
Yes, they lost their oldest daughter, and then they had 2 more girls and another boy, and how the Lord has transformed their family, united them, and brought them forth as gold, truly is what their story is about. But, ASI's theme this year was transformed, united, and sent.
Yes.
And I really felt like their story embodied what the whole of ASI was about this year.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
And if you haven't listened to their story, I'm sure it'll probably show up on YouTube.
Yeah, I think that you can actually connect with those, I'm sure, through the ASI website and that sort of thing, to see some of those programs that were there, because not all of us could go and be there in person, but they were there with cameras. And I think a lot of it's available on YouTube, available on streaming. And also, Dee Casper spoke for the church service, and kind of on those, he was on the basic theme, Christ's sacrifice for us, which is really
very
good to hear.
Beautiful message.
Yeah, really great. So, it's good to be here with you because we shared something in common.
We did.
We did.
We got to have that.
I don't want to walk away from this telling about the highlight for me, aside from those Sabbath sermons and Sabbath school, was every morning at 7 a.m. Jem Castor, and a lot of you are familiar with.
Yeah, a lot of people recognize his
name.
We had united prayer. It was so beautiful. It really was just, uniting.
Yes.
like it says, and that all of these people coming together to uplift our prayers before the Lord and to see His power at work.
Great way to start the day.
Yes.
And you guys, I didn't get in on those. I feel like I really missed out.
Yes.
But I was at a special luncheon, and we had a prayer with him at the end of the luncheon that was also really fantastic, with everybody praying around the group. And, it was really, really good. Really nice.
What a blessing.
Yep, for sure. Well, James, Julie, I just want to thank you for taking some time to come and share with us about your good experience at ASI.
Well, it was wonderful to share ASI with you and also to have this conversation, so thank you.
All right.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks. And stay tuned. I'll be right back with Station News. Welcome back. It's time for Station News. The fair is coming up here for our Walla Walla Valley, a favorite event that we have in our community. And as you probably know, if you've been watching the show, we are going to have a booth at the fair for Blue Mountain Television. And so you'll want to stop by and say hi to us. This is going to be August 31 through September 4 at the fairgrounds. And our booth is going to be right near the entrance as you come into the pavilion there. And we're really excited about this new location for Blue Mountain Television and looking forward to meeting with you and interacting with you at the fair. So definitely make it a point when you're at the fair to come by and say hello to us. We're happy to see you there. Also, we wanted to remind you that we have brand new episodes of Authentic that are airing on the station beginning September 17. So that's not immediately, but it's coming up pretty soon. Something to mark on your calendar. Authentic with Sean Boonstra, 4 p.m. starting September 17. And then I wanted to remind you that we still have some copies of Patriarchs and Prophets to give away at Blue Mountain Television. These have all been donated to the station by one of our very generous benefactors. And he just wants us to share them with you. so that you can have your own copy of this really great book. So call the station at 509-529-9149 and get a copy. It was no cost to Blue Mountain Television, and we would love to share them with you. This is a great book. In case you're not familiar with it, it's talking about the first part of the Bible. As you might kind of guess from the title, it's about the early people of the world following God, the patriarchs and the prophets. Stories in here about the creation of the world, about the flood, about some of the big leaders of the Jewish nation, and really important people to Christianity as well, like Abraham, and one of my favorite Bible characters, Joseph. Great chapters about him in here. Love reading this. I just enjoy this book so much, and I know that you will too. So give us a call at 509-529-9149 so we can send you your own copy of Patriarchs and Prophets. And some of you are probably wondering what's happening with the new facility. Well, indeed, we are moving forward. Last week I was talking with Keith Carlin about that new move now that we have the construction permit and what we can work on there and what can happen with that. He's looking for some key people, somebody to kind of manage that project, like a general contractor sort of person. He's met with a couple people. He's going to meet with another one, and we are still looking for that general contractor that we're going to need for this project. So you might be that person, or you might know the right person who could send our direction. Then, of course, we're going to be needing a lot of volunteers as well. So we are moving forward with that, and we're really, really excited that we now have permission to actually begin making those changes in our building. So promise to keep you updated about that and all other happenings here at Blue Mountain Television. And I just want to thank you for your generosity toward the station, your interest in this ministry, your support for it. Many of you are regular donors, and it's you that's keeping the station on the air. And so please continue your support, especially those regular monthly gifts are so valuable to us. And also you can give special gifts marked for the new facility as well. And we need your prayers. We need you to tell other people about Blue Mountain Television. So remember, we're a team together here at Blue Mountain Broadcasting Association, sharing in this ministry, being able to let our community know how important a relationship with God is and how much Jesus means to us and the wonderful plans that God has for our future. That's what we're doing. That's what we're about. And thank you for being part of it. And I also like to thank you for watching the show today. Appreciate you tuning in, and I will see you next time.